Hello and welcome to Middle-Aged Geek Girl. I'm Sally. Today I have two cross-stitch kits that were kindly sent to me from Biggest Craft. One is a Christmas theme, one is not. Let's check them out and see what I got. Hey, I just did a rhyme. God, I got a new career for 2024. I'm going to be a poet and I didn't even know it. Now, before I continue, I do want to just touch on something that of my last Biggest Craft video, if you watched it, I received this cross-stitch kit and the chart was had run because the ink had obviously been a bit too wet when they had folded up the chart. Well, upon watching my video, Biggest Craft, to their credit, sent me a digital copy of the chart, so in order to replace it. So a big thank you to them, and that's just something I want to share with you so that you know that if you do get problems like that, they were very responsive and sent a replacement chart. And digitally is probably a little bit better anyway, because then you can blow it up on your iPad and see it a lot more clearly. So yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know that before we continue on with today's review. Big double thumbs up to Biggest Craft for their customer service. Alright, so let us start with this one first, which is a Christmas theme. Now the two I got are obviously no branded ones, and I thought, you know, perfect time to check out things that aren't always Joy Sunday or Spring Brand, and with Christmas just around the corner. I shudder at that every year. It just seems to get closer and closer. We'll see what we've got. So you've got, this is what they are. So you've actually got the two different images on here. It's a Christmas tree and a Christmas stocking. And I like the fact that this comes through all nicely cut up. And it's a nice reference if you do a logbook or something. You can always stick this in your logbook. I do mine all on a spreadsheet because I love spreadsheets. There is your standard instructions. It does give you details of all of your different types of stitches, but most of these no-name brand ones usually just use full stitch, but that's always something handy to keep. And here is the chart. So the chart itself is a bit small, but it is, looking at this one, very clearly printed. Amongst the two images is 15 colors and all full stitch, and my favorite colors. I do think 666 is in a lot of Christmas images. That's why we all hail Santa at this time of year. And if you're interested in hailing Santa at this time of year, check out my Etsy and RedBubble stores. Link below in the description for some awesome alternative Christmas cards. That's a little self-plug, but we'll continue. I think these could have been printed a bit bigger. As I said, it is printed really clearly. You can see what's what, but again, I sort of like these to be like a full, I mean, it's a full A4 if you hold it that way, but maybe a full A4 size print for each of these items. But, you know, it is clear. It just doesn't have like the, you know, that's 10 stitches. It doesn't have the tiny individual lines between the 10 stitch mark. So it is legible and you probably can follow it, but I think it could be made just a little bit better to make it really chef's kiss. But we'll check out the actual canvas. There's the thread, we'll check them out later. Here it is. Now they are meant to be two separate items, so you would cut it sort of down the middle. And you do have, now there's no sort of instruction on what this is. Now I'm assuming this is, I can't think of the term now, but it's obviously to make it a bit more sturdy at the back when you cut this, so you do have two separate cross-stitch kits in the one, basically. If that's what you want, well then you've got your extra support on the back there. I'd probably keep it as one for me and just put it in my display book as one. But then you could also do this over 2 Christmases because it technically would be 2 kits. But you've got your needles there, and they are the blunter ones, but this is 11 count, so they are the nice thicker needles. I do like those needles. It's printed really well. As I said, 15 colors, 666 is one of them, so very happy with that. Yeah, I'm just really looking at it before I stop saying anything about it, but no, it is definitely printed really, really clearly. And when you look on the site, they do show it as 2 separate items. So yeah, this is definitely your stabilizer. That's the word I've been looking for all this time. Oh my God, I couldn't think of it. So you've got your stabilizer but there is no instructions to say if this one is an iron-on or a stitch on, or is it water soluble once you've done it. There's absolutely no instructions to say what type of stabilizer that is, and that would be handy. Maybe people with more experience in using stabilizers will be instantly able to work that out. I don't use it generally on doing anything I make, so I know there are different types of it, but I'm not 100% familiar with what's what just by looking at it. So a little bit more instructions around that would have been helpful for people like me who generally don't know. But let's check out the color, and they're all on one card. So big props to this brand, which is No Brand. I can't sort of code it for anything. We just call it the No Brand brand. There are colours a 10 to a 15, so definitely a nice Christmas range of colours there. And there are colours 1 to 9 with the magical 666 standing out right there. It is a perfect Christmas colour. I don't think that's a coincidence, I really don't. But yeah, so I really do like that. Really like this kit, really quite happy with it. As I said, the only 2 things where I would have really liked a bit more instruction around what the stabilizer is and what's it for and how to use it, and is it water soluble, is it iron on, blah blah blah. There is absolutely no instruction at all on what to do with that. But again, I think that's only going to be a problem if you are going to cut the canvas in half and separate them, which I probably will not do. Well, I might. I mean, it depends if I want to do one now and one another Christmas, doesn't it? Just have it in your whips for that whole time. It really doesn't matter. But it's up to you how you would want to do it. But as far as production and everything go, really quite happy with that one. Okay, so let's check out the second one I got. And this one, again, is a No Branded one. Now, somebody in the comments of my last video told me how to tell if it is a Hurricane or not, and it's to do with what their code starts with here. And I'm going to have to go back later and check what the actual comment said. Depending on what the code is here is how you know if it's Hurricane or not. So I will put up just a little text message here whether or not it is Hurricane, because I can't remember off the top of my head what the actual code is. But with this one, you've got lots of needles, your finger protector and a needle threader, and you always get the nice bag with the animals on it. And my favourite one, my favourite land animal, tiger. And you get your cross stitch instructions, but in a tiny version. Now this one is 11 count and it's 45 by 65 centimeters. So a big one for me. This would be like a 3-year-long venture into doing it. Now there's the image of what the actual pattern is, the cross stitch kit. I might even chuck up an actual picture from the website so it's a bit easier to see, but it is a beautiful flower bouquet over what looks like a vintage music sheet. Now, of course, I'm going to have to show it sideways again just to get it all in, so apologies for that. Now this one, as I said, is going to be like let's go 5-year project for me, because there are a lot of stitches. Everything needs to be stitched. It's 168 by 255 stitches. So there you go. Now this one is printed beautifully. They have definitely waited for the ink to be fully dried before they've pulled it off the printer. And it is 40 colors, so definitely a lot of colors. I think looking at that image, that's definitely enough to cover it. Of course, it's all full stitch, so you do lose a little bit of the detail in the sense that you don't have the back stitch and the French knots, things like that, to give it a bit more of a definition. But it is looking like it's printed really well. So the chart is printed really well, and it's big. So I definitely have no problems with this chart. The image itself might be a little bit hard to see what it is, because it does look like it is changing color a lot. So there is going to be a lot of detail in this one. So like there's no, apart from the border, which I would expect it to be, there's no sort of huge amount of color blocking. It definitely looks like it's going to be plenty of colors. So put this all aside, and here is the canvas. So let's look at this, and it is printed very vibrantly. Again, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put you on the side to make sure we get it all in. It is big. It is 40, as I said, colors. This canvas is stitched all the way around as well to make sure there's no fraying, so that is awesome. And the canvas itself, doing a scan, looks like it's been printed really well as well. I can't see any issues with smudging or running ink, especially even though it's really quite vibrant around these like oranges and red tones here on the canvas. It all looks like it's printed really clearly. Again, I will pop the image up here so we can see it again. It is a stunning image, and it's just really a matter of doing it to see how it looks. It's not going to have the full detail of the image. Obviously, as I said, we don't have the back stitches. This is a full stitch canvas only, but 40 colors, and it looks like it changes a lot. So there's definitely does feel like there's a lot of detail in it. So yeah, really quite happy with the way this canvas is printed. Nice and clear. And yeah, these big ones, when I start them, I don't know, I might be senior age geek girl by the time I finish them. When does middle age end? In your 60s, 65, something like that. So yeah, I've got a good 15 years left. Who knows? Who knows? But then do I want to be known as SAG? No, I don't want to be known as SAG. Oh dear, I might have to change names. That's future me's problem. Alrighty, so here we have the extra colors, or the extra skeins, because there are obviously a lot of 739, 738, 3770, and come here, 951. So it looks like there's going to be some nice shading in there, just looking at how those colors vary just slightly. And look at whopping all of these. Whoa. And they're on a solid card. So those colors 37 to 40. This is a very like vintage toned image, so there's going to be nothing like too bright and in your face. It's all going to be more muted and earthy, and that's really still a beautiful color palette, as you can see, like with your softer purples and maroons. Gorgeous, and lots of thread. And then the other ones. So really pretty kit. So really happy with both these kits on being that they were both no named branded ones. I'm going to pop all this away and we'll come back for final thoughts and outro. So here they are, the two kits that were kindly sent to me from Biggest Craft. So again, a big thank you to Biggest Craft for these. and also for sending me through the chart on the image that was all blurry from my last review. So yeah, if you have a problem, please contact Biggest Craft. They are very responsive and will do what they can to fix it for you. For no name branded ones, as I said, I'm going to try and select them a bit more when I can, because I'm doing the PR review and not spending my money on them, so it helps you know beforehand of whether or not you want to spend your money on them. They have come through really well, like they're all printed on the charts beautifully. The canvas themselves is printed beautifully. The threads were all good. This canvas was stitched all the way around to prevent fraying. This one isn't, but this one came with a stabilizer, because I think the idea is you are supposed to trim it down into being the two separate images, being these two ones. But I would have liked, the only thing, like I said earlier, I would have liked a bit more instruction on what to do with the stabilizer, because it's not something I generally use. So I'm going to have to look that up on how to do that for this one for me. But that's if you wanted to, again, separate the two images and have them as just actual Christmas tree and stocking by themselves, or if you're just going to put it in a display book like I usually do, keep it all as one item, that's up to you. But yeah, it didn't have the stitching around to prevent the fraying, but it did have the stabilizer material. This one did have the stitching around to prevent the fraying. So yeah, they're not, you know, 100% perfect, but they are definitely both recommended from me. They're very workable, and I think you'll get good results out of both of them. But I'd like to hear what you think down below in the comments, so please leave me a comment. I love to hear from you, and I always respond. And if you don't know what to say, leave an emoji and I will respond in kind. It's all engagement, and YouTube love engagement. And as I'm saying for every video I am releasing during November, it is my birthday month, and I'm only going on about it for a month because it is the big 50. I can't believe it. I'm nearly half a century years old. And so I'm asking if everybody wants to give me a free birthday present to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. That is the best birthday present you can give me that costs you nothing. Also hit that like button. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, I do have a Ko-fi and a Patreon account set up, and the details are up here on screen. But that will do it for this video. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again to Biggest Craft, and everybody, no matter where you are, please stay safe, stay weird, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.